It's episode 1, so strap in your seatbelts and get ready for the ride. Today we find out how the whole thing got started. Then we look at the first attempt and success of capturing a hunt on video, the tale of the Big 9. You're watching APO Outdoors.
Pole is bent, pulling some line.
Hello and welcome to episode 1 of our premiere season here on APO Outdoors. I'm your host, Peter Michael. Today you'll see part 1 of a 3-part segment that takes a look at our hunting and fishing heritage in the outdoors. Simply put, it's the reason. Then watch as the very first hunt we ever taped unfolds in the search for a huge 9-point buck. But first, here's our reason. I owe all of this to my dad. My passion for the outdoors, this TV show, my drive, all of it is because of my dad. He took me out fishing when I was growing up, when I was little, and when I was old enough to start hunting. He took me hunting and he showed me everything about the outdoors that he knew. And he just was taking me along on his adventures, doing something that he loved. And that love translated to me, and the passion has just stuck. Unfortunately, I lost my father last year. He passed away suddenly after surgery, and sometimes it just doesn't seem fair, but I live on in his memory and his honor, and everything that he loved about the outdoors is something that I bring with me when I walk out into the woods. He helped me out a lot. I mean, obviously, you always look up to your father and you look for them for guidance and advice, but he helped me out beyond that. I mean, he provided me opportunities to go out west and provided me equipment that I now edit this show on, and just really was excited and happy to be a part of what we were doing, because we both love the outdoors and we both just wanted to live a life of enjoying the outdoors. As you can see, there's a lot of heart and passion that goes into not only this show, but this entire way of life, and we look forward to sharing it with you. Being that it's the premiere episode of our premiere season, it only seemed right to bring you the very first hunt we ever got on videotape. Here's our humble beginnings. The Big 9 was a great first deer to get on video, and it was a great hunt, but there's more to the story than just what you see on the footage. And as you can see right now, I've got a few things laid out on the table, and in a couple minutes you'll know what this all means. Now, the story begins back in 2001, and that fall my father and my mother had been in a car accident. My mom was okay, but my dad's hip was shattered, and he was in a wheelchair for that gun season, for the whole fall. But for that season, he was in a wheelchair. Being in a wheelchair wasn't going to stop my dad from hunting that year. Living out in the middle of the woods and seeing deer in our yard all the time, my father decided he was going to hunt out of the window of our garage, looking up at the hillside. My father levels the sights and pulls the trigger. Pow! And the buck freezes for a moment, and then trots off. Turns out that the igniter cap misfired and never lit the powder. Sadly, the 9-pointer would never return during muzzle loading, and for the second time in a row, my father would end his season without bagging his trophy buck. And so college was about done, and I was coming home for Christmas. And my dad calls me up and says, "We got him here, he's coming in." So I get home, and it's time to bow hunt. And this is where the footage and the fun starts. First night out hunting this guy, he was coming in, but he was jumpy and he was gone before I even really got the camera on him.
Well, there he goes.
Oh, shit. Second night, he was coming in, but again, there's does around, and so he was just on alert. I would pull back a couple times and he'd just bolt. Finally, I think it was on the third or fourth day that I really tried to hunt this guy, that he came in nice and early, lots of camera light, and was just able to slowly, finally get a chance.
I know what you may be thinking. A feeder? Really? It's already hard to attract whitetails in northern Wisconsin. But hey, if Texas can do it, so can we. But the real dilemma was whether or not to pass this guy up and hope that he was around for next year. We didn't want to take that chance.
And I took my shot and he bolted off.
Oh, what a beauty, I say.
We got the ball rolling, and I'm thrilled to bring you more exciting hunts this season. So check back next week here on ampmoutdoors.com for episode 2 to see if we connect with some mid-state gobblers. For AMPM Outdoors, I'm Peter Michael, and it's always time to be outdoors.